Okay, so let's start. Let's try to understand what exactly is this system. Now, if you go to the internet and just type this word system, you will get hundreds and hundreds of definition, and you will get yourself more confused just by looking at it. And I want to make it super simple because you know what, this is a very fundamental thing of whatever we are going to study later down the line. This is a very foundation stuff. Now, what is system? It is nothing. It is just a set of pieces. Okay, there are different pieces, a set of pieces that are working together to do something useful for a user. Set of pieces. Let me write it down. Let me write it down. What is this? Set of pieces. Okay. Mind my handwriting, but that's it. Set of pieces working together to do something useful for a user. That's it. That's it. I don't want to add any kind of complication here. What is system? A system is a set of pieces that are working together to do something useful for whom? For a user. Let's try to understand this with an example. Okay. Let's say you have your own phone. Now, what you do, you open your phone and you try to open Instagram on this device. Okay. Let's say this is your phone. Now, as soon as you open the Instagram, your phone will try to search another computer. Let's say there is another computer somewhere on internet, and this computer has Instagram code. As soon as you open Instagram, your phone will try to communicate with another computer somewhere on the internet which has the Instagram code, and it will ask, hey, I need feed of this user. Like user in this case is you. So I will need feed for this user. Now Instagram will see, okay, he's asking for a feed, it will return you the feed. And as soon as this computer will return you the feed, it will show you all that information on your device. That's the whole system, bro. Like this is a very simple system. If you see here, this is piece 1, this is piece 2. These two pieces are working together to do something useful for a user. That is what we call a system. Now these two pieces have name. This is piece 1, this is piece 2. These two pieces have name. This we call as client, and this we call as server. Like you have to keep this in mind because this is a term that I'm going to use a lot in the upcoming lessons. Okay. This is a client, this is a server. Now what is a client? Like in this case, your phone is a client. Why? Because client ask. Like client always ask thing and server answers. Okay. Server always answers the thing. So client ask, server answer. Now, these two things have a name as well. Like, these two things have some name. Ask we call as request. Like client make a request to server. And after getting that request, server answers. Now, what is this answer? It sends a response. So client make request. Servers try to answer by throwing a response. That is the whole terminology. Client, server, request, response, again and again and again and again. There can be multiple requests, and all these requests needs to be answered by server in term of response. Like it needs to send a response. Are you getting it? Now I want to clarify one important thing here is that client, because it is very confusing for a lot of beginners. Like, so guys, client is not always your computer. Okay, it is not always your phone. It can be anything. The basic definition of client is that it is something that asks anything from another computer. The main definition of client is that it should be asking question to someone else. That's it. Now, what can be client? Like client can be your browser. Like let's say you open a browser, you open some website. So your browser can be a client. Some mobile application, just in case Instagram, we just say, so some mobile application can also be your client. Some desktop app can also be your client. So a client is something that asks something. A client is something that asks some questions from another computer on internet. That's a client. And what is server? Server is nothing but that answers these questions. Like it asks a question and it answers this question. It sends a response. So a server can be anything. Like majorly these servers are majorly seated in the data center of the big tech companies, but it's not a magical computer. It can be anything. Even the computer which is sitting in your home can behave as a server. Like the whole purpose of server is that it should listen for request. It should listen for all the requests that is coming up, and it should answer. That's the whole purpose of server. So server can be anything. Client can be anything. it is just the definition, like how this thing is actually behaving. Because a same device can behave as a client, as a server. It all boils down to the definition. So just keep this in mind because it's very confusing. Okay. Okay, so you get the basics of everything. Okay, so if I ask you what is the minimalistic system, like what is the simple system ever? The simple system is nothing but, let's say you have a phone. Okay, this is your phone. And there is another computer which is behaving as a server. Okay, and let's say in middle there is an internet. I know this internet, I'm just writing it internet for now, but it has a lot of components. We'll study about this internet in the next videos. But you just need to think there is an internet in between. Phone and this computer are talking to each other. So that is the simple system ever exist. That's it. And you know what? In majority of the cases, this works since lot of years. Like I can list you hundreds and like millions and millions of applications that has just the simple system. One device, one server, they're communicating with each other, and it's working very well. Okay. Like I can make a system of myself. Let's say I decided to build a to-do list. Okay. I can, write a code to add a task, to delete a task, to modify a task, and I can put all this code in some server. Now my phone can access this code somewhere on the internet, and it can read, it can write, it can do a lot of things. So now this is a very simple system that is behaving just perfectly fine. Okay. So in majority of the cases, this works, but there are some scenarios where it doesn't work as well. We'll think about it. But firstly, you have to make sure, you have to understand this in mind. Client, server, that's a system. That's a simple system ever exists. Okay. Now, when will this simple system will not work? Because I know hundreds and hundreds of apps are using, like millions of apps are using this basic setup. But what is the disadvantages of this thing? So there are 3 problems basically. Okay. In the very beginning, we don't have to deal with this thing. Let's say you are just making an MVP for any app, like the simple system will work eventually very fine for you. But eventually there are 3 problems that occurs as soon as you scale your application. What are these 3 problems? Let's say on one day, million and million of users are coming and using your application. Now, what will happen if millions and millions of users are using my application? Then this is my server. Server is getting million of requests. Now my server might not be handle it. My server might not be answer it because it doesn't have that much of resources. Like this is a simple hardware. It might not be able to handle all these things. So what happens? My server will clash. Now, as soon as my server will clash, user will, face problems and something like this. So this is the very first problem. As you scale application, the simple system starts breaking. What is another problem? Another problem is, let's say, right now we have server 1, okay? Now this is a simple hardware. Sometimes what happens, let's say this server 1 has some fault. Because this is also a machine. Machine can have a fault. Okay, we have a machine. Now it has a fault. Let's say my electricity went down, and due to which my server went down. Let's say there is some wear and tear in somewhere else in the component, in the hardware. So in all these scenarios, one server will not behave. One server will not be able to fulfill the user request. Are you getting it? So this is another problem. These are another problem that exists. That's why we need multiple servers. At very less scale, very for MVP, we don't even need it. But as soon as you scale things, these things can occur. So we have to make sure all these things occur. We don't have to deal with it. What is problem number 3? Okay, problem number 3 is something interesting. Let's say I'm from India. Okay, I'm from India. And my server is in US. Okay. Now someone from India made a request to this server. It made a request to the server in US and it sends me the response. Now, if you see the distance between India is US is very much high. Now, when the distance is high, even if the response is coming from at the speed of light, it takes time. It takes milliseconds. Like it is a lot of milliseconds. Are you getting it? So my users in India can complain, hey, your app is slow. Like it is slow. It is not loading very fast. This is very glitchy, something like that. But users in USA might not face this problem. So this is another problem. This is another problem by which, this simple system will not work. So there are 3 problems. Like we are not going to solve this problem right now. I just want to highlight that these 3 problems exist. That's why we are studying the system design, because otherwise this is very much usable for any kind of MVP that you're building right now. So that's the whole agenda of this lesson as well. Like in this lesson, I don't want to bombard you with a lot of facts. The whole thing that we study is that we have a system. A system is nothing but set of pieces that are working together to do something useful for a user. Now we have studied what is client, what is server, what is request, what is response. That is all the things that you just need to keep in mind for the next lessons. all these problems, like in the upcoming lessons, we will try to add more computers in our system. We will try to add more things in our system so that we can solve these three problems. But you just need to understand the basic foundation, fundamental thing that we just studied. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope it is not very much rocket science for you. In the next upcoming lessons, we will learn a lot of amazing stuff in a very depth manner, and you will definitely enjoy it. Thank you so much.